Hello, welcome to Who Had Gist with Ukuribi Isin. Here we discuss trending stories around the globe. And as usual, I will not be doing this alone. I will be doing this with a friend and a colleague, a comrade in Cross River State. I'm talking of no other else than Esau, comrade Esau Edom, a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress in Cross River State. You're welcome, comrade Esau.
Thank you very much for having me here. Obviously.
Welcome. So here, what we do, like I said, we discuss trending stories around the globe, and usually we begin from home. We begin from local blogs in Cross River State, and first we'll be looking at a story from the Daily News. It has to do with the registration of All Progressive Congress, the registration and revalidation, membership registration and revalidation of membership of the All Progressive Congress. And still in line with that, the former national chairman of the party, I'm talking of BC Akande, made a statement yesterday that the registration exercise which is ongoing is a waste of resources. Mr. Isoidom, you're a member of the All Progressive Congress. What do you have to say about that?
Anyway, His Excellency Chief Bishop Kondi, the Pioneer National Chairman of the All Progressive Congress. I watched the video and I know that constitutionally he is entitled to his opinion. And we have different perceptions to issues. So on his own perception, he may have seen it to be a waste. And he's saying it as a right because as a foundation member of the party, he has a right to air his opinion. But what I want to say as a member, a foundation member, and major stakeholder of the party,
Okay.
is that it is necessary to revalidate our membership in the party and also bring in new members. Don't mind what people are saying. A lot of people knows that the All Progressive Congress is doing a lot to better a lot of the people. So they want to join the party. And in the real sense of revalidation, a lot of persons who joined APC, few of them have defected to the People's Democratic Party and other political parties.
Okay.
And their names are still on the register of the party.
Okay.
So the party is saying, if this person is no more in the party, the name should be expunged from the register,
Okay.
while bringing in new persons who are lying. They are lining to join the party.
Okay.
So they are in a queue to join the party.
All
So
right,
you cannot deprive them of that opportunity.
looking at that statement made by BC Akande, and there are some views from some quarters that the registration process is to belittle the weight of the Southwest, because I think it's only members of the party from the Southwest that are complaining about the membership registration. So I don't know why, but there's this conspiracy theory that they are trying to belittle the weight of members of the party in the Southwest, maybe skyrocket the numbers in other regions and all that, so that at the end of the day, the Southwest will see that okay, they are not really major stakeholders in APC.
I think that is not true, though you cannot rule propaganda out of politics.
Okay.
Now, a lot of critics of the All Progressive Congress are out there to ensure that they create acrimony, they create unnecessary internal impasse in the All Progressive Congress, maybe to weaken the party.
Okay.
But we are not terrified, we are not perturbed with that, by that.
No,
But what I want to say about the issue of Southwest, Southwest happens to be a key and major stake and shareholder as far as APC is concerned. And nobody will say they are trying to belittle, they are trying to reduce the strength of APC, because Southwest, APC is even more stronger
in the Southwest.
in the Southwest. And APC started
the southwest.
From the southwest. So there is nobody that can belittle the southwest because, mind you, southwest has 5 state APC governors.
Yeah.
Born up for the little mistake in Oyo that PDP took over. APC is still very, very strong in Oyo State. So they are going to mobilize themselves, EMAS, to ensure that they bring in brand new members into the party.
Okay, now let's move from APC in the southwest. Let's come over to Cross River State. Just recently, there have been some agitation from members of your party owing to the COVID-19, the palliative, Niger Delta palliative that was shared by a member of the PDP. There have been agitation that there's no reward system in APC, and that for such a provision, that would have been handled by the party, the structure of the party in the state, and it would have even helped in enticing members to join this registration process in the party. What do you have to say about that?
Anyway, I would say what you just mentioned now, there are two issues.
Okay.
One is that the reward system. Let's talk about the reward system.
Okay.
I am also a victim of the porosity of the reward system in APC, because some of us deprived ourselves of a lot of comfort and luxuries to ensure that we gave the opposition a face in Cross River State, South geopolitical zone, Niger Delta region, southern part of Nigeria, and the entire state of the Federation. But today, we can boast of nothing. But that is not to say that Nigerians are not benefiting from APC-led government, and other party members are not benefiting from the party. So now it will now take me to the level where I will say that there is this adage that says, if it has not gotten to you today, it will get to you tomorrow. So we are not really bothered or perturbed about that. But on the issue of the Niger Delta Ministry palliatives, I want to say that by the grace of God, so far so good. Even when I am yet to benefit directly from the president or the federal government of Nigeria, led by my beloved party, the All Progressives Congress, the party, the government has done so well, first, to ensure that anything that has to do with the public is not limited to the members of the party. It cuts across. So the issue of the Ministry of Niger Delta Palliative was directed to the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, which is for now headed by a director, Mr. Eneita, who handled the purchase of the rice. Now, the issue of the PDP man, Right Honorable Tuekom Orokju, is supervisory role that he was assigned by the minister. And I will go ahead to say that the man, to the best of my knowledge, has carried out an unprecedented activity as it has to do with the palliative rights from the Ministry of Niger Delta. The reason is that before now, whenever these things comes, the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, the headship, always ensure that either the palliatives are hoarded and shared to Bakassi, few persons in Bakassi, Akbabuyo, Calabar South, Calabar Municipality, the 5 local government, and Orubani, I mentioned Orubani. But today, Orokju, Right Honorable Tuekom Orokju, I don't want to say PDP, APC, because I'm not a fanatic of a political party. We are all one. Parties will come and go. Our society will remain. Now, but the man ensured that the rice got to the 196 wards, 4 bags per ward, across party lines. PDP members called me even and this government is doing well. They appreciated the president.
Okay.
APC members also got the rice.
Okay.
And the man did not end it. He ensured that some pressure groups
Okay.
were captured, like Naoj,
Okay.
uh, Activist Forum,
Youth Council of
Nigeria.
Okay.
There's this women, PDP women
Okay.
group
Yes.
also, I think headed by the wife of the Cross River State Governor. They were Croway. They were effectively captured. So as we speak, right on the block 2, Rock 2, ensure that rice has gotten
around
to all the nooks and crannies. Though some members, a lot of members of the public, including APC, may not have had access to it. But I want to say that the activity of Orotu in the just concluded sharing of the rice palliative from the Ministry of Natural Data is unprecedented, because my philosophy and ideology in politics is whatever comes must get to everybody, no matter how small or big it is. So I want to give kudos to him on that.
All right. Look, I appreciate the fact that as a member of the party, you are, like the word, detribalized. You have accepted the fact that there's no need to be fanatical about
at all.
partisanship and all that. Now let's move over to Governor Wike of Rivers State. Yesterday he made a statement on channels, and that statement has been trending in social media. The video is everywhere, where he said that the next president of Nigeria will have a lot of roads to clear that has been caused by this the Buhari-led government. So what do you think on that? What's your take on that?
Anyway, I want to say that His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Wike, as a citizen of Nigeria first, has right to his opinion. Now, there is no government that is expected to be perfect.
Okay.
So, if he says that there are roads that needs to be cleansed after Buhari's government, he may be right,
Okay.
and he may be wrong. But I want to say that a road that his party PDP left for Buhari
Okay.
may be part of the things that Buhari is cleansing, those things, those roads.
Okay.
And maybe the ones that Buhari will be unable to cleanse are the ones that the successor of President Muhammadu Buhari will come and cleanse. After all, for about 16 years, the PDP federal government of Nigeria started up a project of building the headquarters of the Niger Delta Development Commission's head office in Rivers State. And for about 16 years, they did not complete it. But Buhari has just completed it under 6 years. Buhari will be 6 years on the 29th of May 2021. So Buhari have just completed it.
Okay.
So maybe if Buhari did not complete it, that would have been part of the road that the successive government would have come to complete.
All right.
To cleanse. Then in addition, even his own party, the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party,
okay,
that was started sometime 2002
okay,
in Metema, close to the Corporate Affairs Commission office in Abuja. It's still uncompleted. So let us assume that was part and parcel of the federal government project.
Okay.
It would have been the road that the successor of Buhari would have come to complete. We have so many uncompleted. Some of these projects, PDP just mentioned them. And today Buhari, when he saw, because governance is continuum. Continuity must be there in governance. So Buhari came and has been completing a lot, has been carrying out even most of the project. There was no foundation laying stones there, like the second Niger Bridge. look at it is about 65%. It is there for people to see. PDP members are even applauding Buhari himself. The income bridge, that there was no one trip of sand there. It is about 80% completed. So Buhari is not a man, he doesn't speak much, but he believes in action. Now, today as we speak, the government of PDP, that Wike served as a minister of state, having finished as chief of staff to Rivers State government. There are some few federal government roads that Rivers State government did. And have been applying for refunds of the monies to be given to Rivers State. And the PDP, Wike's PDP, refused as a rot. Buhari, because Buhari doesn't want his successor to come and cleanse the rot, he has given Wike 79 billion naira of that money. Right. So that is why even the government of Rivers has gotten 18.3 billion naira. So Buhari inherited a lot of rot. He has been cleansing and will continue to cleanse. If he is unable to finish cleansing them, then his successor will come and cleanse.
All right, if you're watching us, this is Ho Hadjis with Ukuribi Essien, where we discuss trending stories around the globe. And we are discussing national politics, national issue, the registration of APC in the state. And we are also looking at the statement made by His Excellency Governor Wike of Rivers State, where he said that the road that will be left behind by Buhari's administration will be so much for whoever is taking over him to complete. Don't go with us. We are still here on Ho Hadjis trending stories around the globe. Now let's come back home to Cross River State. Just yesterday, there was a story going around and it's trending that the governor is crying that the state won't be able to pay January salaries as expected, and reasons being that the state computer has crashed. What's your take on that?
It is so funny in this 21st century that a government of a very civilized state like Cross River, a digital state for that, in that case, would come up with an excuse that your salary will not be paid to you because a computer has crashed. Meaning, if the computer remains crashed for the next 6 months, civil servants will not be paid their salaries. If it is crashed for 1 year, civil servants will not be paid for their salary for 1 year. It is extremely funny, and I pity the civil servants in Cross River State. Now, the governor should be able to reject his game. If you say you are a digital governor, in fact, your phone should have the database of all the civil servants. Your phone as a governor should have the database of the civil servants in the entire state. If the system crashed, your phone should not crash. If your phone crashed, the phone of the head of the civil service of Cross River State should not crash. So it is funny, and I want to appeal to His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River State, that it is totally unacceptable that in this 21st century, such should be given as an excuse. It is even excusable to say that there is no money to pay. Every sensible person will understand, because there is nobody, government or entity, that does not go bankrupt. So if the state is bankrupt, it will be understood. But saying it is system, so if there is system failure for 1 year, it means our brothers, our sisters who are civil servants must stay for 1 year for without salary for system, with all the ICT experts we have in Cross River State.
The Ministry of ICT.
We have ministry of a lot of, out of the 36 states of the Federation, I think Cross River State and one other state alone has the highest ministry, including Ministry of ICT. It therefore means that Cross River State is supposed to be exceptional.
Robotics.
Ministry of Robotics. So we are supposed to be exceptional We are supposed to be very, very digital in our dealings and modus operandi.
Okay.
So it is inexcusable for the governor to use system failure as reason for non-payment of salary.
Wow.
It is unacceptable.
Well, Mr. Governor, you've heard it there. It's unacceptable that you should use the crash of the computer as an excuse why January salaries will be delayed for civil servants. We all know the hardship attached to January after spending so much in December, the festive period, and civil servants are waiting pay at the end of January, and all just to be told that they won't be paid because the system is malfunctioning. And Cross River is a digital state, and we believe that there should have been a backup system. If not, for any reason, we have cloud computing. So why don't we go into cloud computing, get a space in the cloud to save our data and all that. So with that, we'll move over to the next story, which has to do with the DG investment promotion of Cross River State. She was in the headlines last week where she said Cross River should give this industry at least 10 years to break even, that every business takes at least a minimum of 10 years before it starts making profit. And just yesterday, she started the local government tour to look at investment opportunities across the 18 local government. And I was wondering, investment opportunities across the 18 local governments, where the government is already boasting of having industries around the 18 local governments. How do we put that side by side?
You know, it is funny. It is funny in the sense that, like borrowing from your last statement, it now appears that the SA investment promotion in Cross River State is not even in line with its principle.
Okay.
They are not working in pari passu. They don't even understand themselves.
Okay.
The governor says Cross River State is very industrialized. Cross River State is where every business, blah blah blah, is happening. Come here and do that. And the woman or the person in charge of investment promotion, the DG is now saying she has to move around to look at where there will be investment opportunities. It means they are talking in opposite sides. But let me say this as a Cross River. Cross River State is extravagantly rich, as in God extravagantly blessed Nigeria with enough mineral and natural resources. And because all fingers are not equal, some are bigger, some are taller, and some are smaller, and some are shorter. Cross River State happens to be amongst those who are taller and bigger.
Okay.
Our problem is been having the right people in place.
Okay.
That you go to, for example, Akampa local government. God took time to bless that local government with more than enough mineral and natural resources. There is no local government area in Cross River State that God has not blessed. Now, if we have had a governor of Cross River State who has sat down to look at the variables and how to tap from those variables, get some technocrats who are eager to work and deliver results. Get yourself surrounded by them, not press singers. Press singers will make you spend 8 years doing nothing. Political hallelujah boys are only interested in their food on the table. But if you have a governor of Cross River State who thinks out of the box, how do we utilize the mineral resources? Look at the number of barrels that are wasting in their local government. Now, if we have those kind of governors or governor in Cross River State, the richest local government area in Nigeria today is Etiosa in Lagos State. What do? They don't produce anything. Rather, they accommodate, because about 97% of headquarters of companies we have in Nigeria, their offices are in Lagos. So how do they benefit from this? The Etiosa, it is taxation. Now, if Akamba is unable to compete with Etiosa, Akamba should be competing with the Obiakpo, which is the second richest local government
In Rivers State.
in Rivers State. If it cannot compete, it should be to compete with Brass. If it cannot compete with Brass, which is the third richest local government, it should be the fourth richest local government area in Nigeria. Because the governor, having thought out of the box, will know that Akamba has mineral resources enough, iron ore, limestone, barite, name them. You produce any society that does not produce is bound to go bankrupt.
That's true.
Now we can produce aluminium in Biase and Akamba. We have the capacity to produce. We can produce. We can produce iron. We can have 2 to 3 cement factories, not just Lafarge. The essence of this will bring about competitiveness.
And
like in the God bless you.
A reduction in the price.
Yes, when there is competitiveness, there will be total crash of prices of commodities. Like what happened in the telecommunication sector, where when it was only MTN, people were buying phone lines for 50,000, 55,000, later reduced to 45,000. But when the rise of Econet, the Etisalat Glo came, some years ago, I was dashed 50 lines by Globacom. Now, some persons will be put on the street, they say, come and take, okay, come take this MTN line. Now, free SIM, just register, buy 200 MTN recharge card. We'll give you 200 megabytes.
All right,
we'll
comrade,
so,
I think time is on our side, so we are going to have a break there. Okay. And but before we wrap up, let me just ask this question. It's actually not a trending story, but is a trending conversation around the politics of Cross River State. And just last week or so, the DG of the Caterpillar movement was in one of the radio houses where he talked about the zoning structure of Cross River State. Now, looking at 223, there's been this agitation for a stoppage. Maybe that zoning formula was not set by your party. It was started by the People's Democratic Party, where there was a supposed gentleman agreement for the South, Central, and North to take 8 years each, and that agreement has gone round. All the 3 central districts have taken a shot at the governorship stool of Cross River State. And there's this conspiracy theory, there's this propaganda, there's this ideologies that's going on that the zoning should be terminated based on competency, that now we shouldn't look at zoning but competency. And some school of thought are of the opinion that since it has gone round, it mustn't begin with where it started from, that talking about the South, that it can begin from anywhere. Others are also saying that taking a cue from the Osusu contribution, that whoever takes the contribution last becomes the first to take it. So meaning that the North, who is completing the circle, should start the circle, come 223. What is your take on that?
Thank you very much. Fortunately for me, the third person that talked about the DG of the Caterpillar Movement Campaign Organization had a conversation on the radio house, and he had it with me.
Okay.
That was yesterday at the Correct FM.
Correct FM.
And it was for competency.
Okay.
I was for both competency and zoning formula.
Okay.
Now, the truth is that zoning, rotational politics has come to stay in Nigeria.
Okay.
There is no two ways about it. And it is happening today. Like in Nigeria, it goes to north, comes to south, goes to north, comes to south. And you can't take it away. That's why today you see northerners, a lot of northerners are forming pressure groups, pressurizing their various interests and tendencies to support southern part of Nigeria for the presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023. But coming down to Cross River State, I want to sincerely say that from 1999, the governorship of Cross River State was not on the basis of zoning. It was what I would call survival of the fittest, okay, where we had the likes of Elder High Chief Professor Eyotumiyum contesting election in APP, and he won that primaries,
Won the primaries.
landslide. But some tendencies say, it has to be Adam, it has to come to Central or the North, to Adam Congress. And they went to Abuja, changed the result to favor Magugbo of APP, who later became the candidate for that party. And Mr. Donald Duke also won his governorship ticket from the south in that 1999.
Okay.
And we had about 3 to 4 of them contesting that governorship election from across the 3 senatorial districts of Cross River State. And Donald Duke eventually won. And also in 2003, the same Magugbo contested against him. So the issue of zoning was naturally playing itself into the polity and politics of Cross River State. That is why the issue of zoning is unconstitutional. Rather, it is a gentleman's agreement, or you can say it is just conventional.
Okay.
Now, having said that, the issue of rotational politics has grown into the fabrics of an average Cross-Riverian and Nigeria by extension. That when it is, since this zone has done ADs, this other zone has to produce ADs. So whether you constitutionalize it or not, an average voter says it has to be this place. Now talk about the issue of competency. There is no senatorial district or geopolitical zone that does not have competent men and women. And if you want to talk about competency, the South has shown more capacity, has shown more credibility, pedigree through its good antecedent through Mr. Donald Duke. That today Donald Duke is talk of town. Whenever I say, who is the former governor of Cross River that was so good, the first name that comes into your mind is Mr. Donald Duke. So Southern Senatorial District has shown capacity that yes, they are very good in governance. But that is not to say that power is given. Southern Senatorial District must not sit down and wait for power to be given to them. Power is taken. Power is not given. Because even the good book says that from the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and violence taken it by force. The city of the capital of Cross River is in Calabar. It's in Southern Senatorial District. And Southern Senatorial District has 7 local government areas, making it the biggest local government area. And the biggest central district in Cross River State. And Southern Senatorial District has about 51.86% of the total voting strength.
Okay.
You must utilize it. You must come together, call yourself, unite, build synergy. Also try to lobby, like I said. The Central and Northern Senatorial District are not going to take power and give to South. People in the South must come out and begin to tell the people of the North and Central what they want. You must also lobby. Lobby your friends, your colleagues in Northern Senatorial District. Don't wait for power to be given to you. And finally, on that note, we need a governor, a pro-Marxist governor, a detribalized governor, a productivist personnel that will, because like I said during when we talk about the economy, that Cross River State is not producing. Now, Cross River State wouldn't have been talking about industrialization where you have a cap bridge. You cannot industrialize a state that has a cap bridge at the entry point like the old Econ Bridge. So what Buhari has done is what Cross River State needs. And we need a governor that will come and use his power, in addition to that of the federal government, to get Calabar to road. You dualized. You cannot industrialize Cross River State without having a dualized Calabar to road, Calabar Iko Mogoja road to Bandikia, I take this other side, Iko Mubuki, Kubali Kudubudu, and Bakassi, Calabar, Babuyo Bakassi to the ocean. That is the primary stage of industrializing Cross River State. Now, you must also put into consideration the dredging of Calabar
Seaport.
Seaport, because Calabar Seaport happens to be one of the best sited seaports in this part of the world, and also try to play politics the way it is. If 10% of what happens in Lagos State, Apapa, happens in Cross River State, that is when you will start talking about industrialization. For example, sir, when Donald Duke left power, or when Donald was in power, we had East African president, no, West African president coming to Cross River State for sabbaticals. They were living in Obudukato Ranch. We had a lot of activities in almost all of the emporiums in Tinapa. So we had a lot of programs here, and people were coming in. And Donald Duke allowed, there's a 2006 when one of the cargo ship bedded here in Calabar Seaport as an estate agent. We did not have properties to give to clients. This place was jam-packed with people from places coming to patronize just one ship for 1 month. Calabar had a new face. If I had 60,000, I would have bought a Toyota Corolla. They call it First Lady then.
Okay.
I bought a 32 inches television for 4,000 naira. So, if this, just imagine such thing happening in Cross River State for 6 months. Even when you are selling groundnut, it will sell. When you are selling sachet water, there will be ripple effect everywhere. So when you talk about the industrialization, we need a governor from Southern Central District that would give us this, that, because that's what Cross River State wants. We don't need grammar. We want actions. We want to see things happening. So Cross River State South has capacity, but they must not wait. If not,
We must fight for it.
we must fight for it.
All right. Thank you very much, comrade. I think that is where we have to draw the curtain for today. If you're joining us, this is Ohagis with Ukorobi Esin, talking about trending stories around the globe. And today is World Cancer Day. And I want to say that don't wait until you are caught up with cancer. Always look for ways to go out and get yourself diagnosed. If you are diagnosed, please do yourself more good to stay on medication. And there are stories trending that the cause of COVID-19 pandemic has risen the rate of cancer victims and death in the world. Please plead with our medical personnel and our federal government and state government to make waves for cancer patients to be treated and attended to in our primary, secondary, and tertiary health institutions. Thank you very much for staying with us. This is where we draw the curtain for today. Don't fail to subscribe to our channel on YouTube, The Daily News TV, on our Facebook handle. We are The Daily News Nigeria. On Twitter and Instagram, you can find us, The Daily News NG. Thank you, and do have yourself a blessed day. Bye for now.